So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to look into what it's like to buy a car or lease a car. We're going to see all the aspects of cost, extra costs, and what we should really be looking into when we do this. You guys are all going to be at that process soon or have already gone through this process, and these are some things that might help you out in the future. So here's some basic vocabulary here. I'm just going to start out by explaining it. So what is the MSRP? This is something that you typically hear in the car commercials, MSRP. That means the manufacturer's suggested retail price. So basically, what does this cost? What does the car actually cost? What's the product? So it's like putting a label on something at any store. Residual. Residual might be a little bit of a new word. Now, this is something that we're going to talk about when we see stuff about leasing. So residual means it's the estimated loss in value of a car after a lease. So if you lease a car for 3 years, meaning you don't actually own it, the car loses some value to it because it's not a brand new car anymore. So the residual is the money that is lost on it, and that estimates the price after those years of leasing. Money down. Money down is the amount of money you pay out of pocket. So let's say you get a car for $20,000. Let's say you put $5,000 down, and then the $15,000 rest you have to pay for with a loan. So $5,000 would be your money down. Now APR, or interest rate, is the annual percentage rate for your interest. So all car dealerships order different or offer different incentives on interest rates depending on your credit, how old you are, and basically how much the car costs. Or you can go to outside agencies. You don't have to go through the car dealership necessarily. So we'll see that when we talk more about financing or buying the car. Now financing, you technically are buying the car, but you're taking out a loan to pay it, to pay off to eventually own it after however long you decide to pay the loan for. So financing is owning the car. A loan is borrowed money that is paid off over time, like I just said. So you could take out loans for a lot of things. We're going to specifically talk about car loans. And now tax, we all know what sales tax is. Sales tax does apply to cars too. Now this is a bigger purchase, so it's going to be a little bit more effective on the final price. So Suffolk County, New York, the current sales tax is 8.63%. So if you buy a car for $20,000, 8.63% is going to be close to about $2,000. So that's a lot of money in tax. And then the buyout price is what does it cost to buy the car after a lease is up. So let's say that you own a car or you lease a car for 3 years, and then after you want to buy it to own it, because leasing is really like renting. That's going to be a pre-negotiated cost before you even, do the lease. So they already pre-negotiate that for after your time is up with the lease. And then another common term is tax, title, and tags. So tax is mentioned above. It's just the extra you pay based off of the sales tax rate. Title is a piece of paper that actually says you own that car. So it's something that you need for proof of purchase and proof of ownership. And then the tags means the fees you would pay at the DMV. So at the DMV, you would have to get a registration, you'd have to get license plates, and that costs money. So you have to keep this all in mind when you're buying. There's a lot of extra costs. So if you can get this basic vocabulary down, you should have a better understanding of what it's like to